Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Before I get down to business this evening, I want to recognize the political leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party and leader of the opposition, member for Caswies East and next Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre. I would also like to recognize the political giant, our former leader, former Prime Minister and member for Beaufort South, Honorable Dr. Kenny D. Anthony. I want to recognize as well my parliamentary colleagues, among them our two deputies, other endorsed candidates of the St. Lucia Labour Party, brothers and sisters of Labour, fellow St. Lucians at home and abroad. Today marks a turning point in St. Lucia's political history. Events over the past 4 years have reconfigured the hearts and minds of St. Lucian. In fact, I recall a quotation from a colleague: a mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. So my brothers and my sisters, the events over the past 4 years have caused the people of this country to rise against dictatorship. And of course, they cannot wait to excel whenever the time comes in the general elections. Today's match had nothing to do with anybody else but the appointed time by God. Because when that application was made for that date, it fell into the context of something very powerful and something very significant. And so the election date will be appointed by God, irrespective of what Alan Chasney and his apostles are doing. The moment shall come when they will have no control over when election shall come. And to them, whilst Alan Chasney is the one setting the date, it will come like a thief in the night. It will come like a thief in the night. So over the past 4 years, St. Lucia has become a kite bolo under this government. Everybody gets whatever they want. St. Lucia has been partitioned for sale. Cabot Links, DSH, Permandu, Lockerbie, millions of dollars. Whilst we reward the subvention from the National Trust, and they attack Tulsi on a daily basis. They privatized the Fish Marketing Corporation. They closed down Radio St. Lucia. They stopped the laptop programs. They are borrowing. The borrowings in recent times have nothing to do with the budget. The borrowings are not even in the budget. They are violating the Finance Act. There is no voice and accountability in this country. People are tortured for honest opinion. This country has become ungovernable under the Alan Chasney administration. And I will say to you that we have an old system pregnant with a new one. And money is not going to be the midwife to give birth to the next dispensation. Patriotism will. Patriotism will. And this vast assemblage of patriotic St. Lucians are sending a clear message that they want an entirely new beginning in the politics of this country. So the rising tide of this nation's discontent, I stand there on the pinnacle of that wave to address you, my fellow St. Lucians, at the Caswies market steps. You are demanding public participation in the affairs of this country. You are demanding that we uphold the principles of accountability and transparency. You are insisting that we obey the laws and constitution of this country. And the need to be more nationalistic in our thinking. At 70 years of age, the St. Lucia Labour Party has shown great wisdom in the way we have navigated this term in office. And I see a clear determination on your part for the new dispensation to come, because people are suffering in this country. Single mothers are suffering. Minibus drivers are suffering. Or everybody seems to be suffering in this country. The United Workers' Party know how to place our country in the mouth of disaster, but they never know how to get our country out of the mouth of disaster. It has to take a Labour Party to get us out of trouble every time they have placed us in trouble. We did it before, and we will do it again. We did it before, and we'll do it again. In 1997, when the Star of Freedom rose in this country, everything was in a mess. Healthcare, agriculture. There was a total dislocation of the economic and social fabric of this country. Dr. Anthony navigated 2 terms. At the end of that period, what did we achieve? Growth of over 5%. Wealth was more evenly distributed during that period. Unemployment had dropped to its lowest level in almost 15 years. Indigence had been reduced. And of course, my brothers and my sisters, we did it before, and we are going to do it again. In 2006, they took over this country and reversed all the gains of the Labour Party government. And by 2011, when we returned, what did we find in office? A major fiscal hole in the government revenue and an escalating debt at the time. Many of the policies of the UWP was similar to what is happening today. Wastage, extravagance, buying diamol, which of course up to now we are paying for, my brothers and my sisters. And of course we had the global financial crisis, which compounded the stupidity of the government at the time. There was a period of low growth. But when we returned to office, despite a fiscal deficit of almost 10%, despite the effects of a global financial crisis, we got down to business. We got down to business. We inherited a Wasco. You all remember Wasco? Wasco was in a mess. Nobody wanted to lend Wasco any money. The government of the Kenyan Tani administration had to pay electricity bills for Wasco. He worked with it. He worked with it until he got Wasco's books cleared. Until Wasco was in financial health to get a loan from the CDB. And we addressed the Beaufort and Dennery water problems. And of course, prepared the architecture to address the John Compton Dam. Whilst we were busy in fiscal correction, we had absolutely no financing for the St. Jude's Hospital. So in that fiscal mess we inherited, we did not confront it in fear and confusion, but with confidence and conviction. And what happened during that time, my brothers and my sisters? After 3 years of hard work, the economy started to go again. We started to rise. And despite the fact that we were in a fiscal mess, Dr. Anthony introduced NICE, Smiles, and other programs to help the people at the time that was suffering. And in comes the United Workers' Party again, that promised all sorts of things to the people of this country. And in less than 4 years, they have completely destroyed our country. Peyakale golo, take avan as akode at jumbi price, tut kalte betis ape iseklisi. But after 3 painful years of fiscal correction, the economy began to turn around. And we attracted 2 major hotels, the Harbour Club and the Royal Sun, that provided jobs for hundreds of St. Lucians, my brothers and my sisters. The fiscal situation had improved, and we experienced growth of 3.4% in 2016. Had the government not stopped the administrative building in Vieux-Fort, had they not stopped the St. Jude's reconstruction, had they not stopped the Stupre Square, had they not abandoned the Labrie Market, growth would have been much more in this country. And so, my brothers and my sisters, instead of building the foundations led by Dr. Anthony in terms of preparing the economy for takeoff, Yokuma say Simegwenako. And they came to the parliament beating their chest that they're doing so well, that they have borrowed much more than the Labour Party. It is because they found the fiscal space to borrow, they were able to borrow. And so, you can buy gas and you pack a chebe bricks. You can buy gas and you pack a chebe bricks. And so, my brothers and my sisters, today you are hearing that the treasury is empty. The government is struggling to pay salaries at the end of the month. And of course, when COVID came, they were not in a good place to be able to provide support to the people of this country, because they took our tax monies and give it away to foreigners, my brothers and my sisters. And so today, I know that I do not have all night and it's raining. So I shall end tonight by telling you that a policy that excludes the majority of St. Lucians cannot work in this country. And I will quote President Obama as I close, that we must cut loose the shackles of the past and pivot towards a policy of engagement. My brothers and my sisters, we can no longer embrace all myths in the face of current realities. This government must go and must never re-emerge from the ashes of time. Forward to our victory. Long live the people of this country. Long live the patriotic members of the Labour Party. Long live the father of our great party, the late Sir George F.L. Charles, who gave us the right to vote, every man, woman and child. Forward to our victory. La lucha continua. Hasta la victoria siempre. One love, my brothers and sisters.